Hey, hi, Kim. Good morning. Let's give some time for Okay, just 1 more minute. We'll wait and start. Okay, let's get started. Uh, team, can you hear me? Good and see my screen?
SRS.
Okay. Welcome to day four, guys. So today we'll continue our introduction related to web services. Right. So we have already discussed few of the basics like what is a web service, what is SOAP, what is REST, still file, XML file, JSON file, and all of them. Today we'll test some standard services, the standard Oracle Fusion services, right? Some SOAP service and some REST service. And then we'll deep dive into the integration designer phase, what are all the different options that are available. So, let's start. And before starting, any questions from anyone? This. Okay, names are not there. Okay, guys, and anyone have tested these things? So PI Postman and any sample services. Alim, are you done with this?
I did not test the exact ones which you have given, but I did tested.
Okay. Okay, both soap service and web service, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Alim Khan.
Yes, sir, I've installed but not tested. So setup all the
Okay.
things like
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can mention like in progress. Um, that
RS I have tested for REST APIs and I haven't tested for SOAP APIs.
okay. Vikas.
Uh, sir, I didn't test yet, but I will do it today.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Yeah. Okay, so that's on this. And yeah, this is your drive, and we are maintaining all our notes in this folder. Right. So, okay. Okay, no problem, guys. You can test these things today if not. Yeah, but the basic concept is to connect to any API, right? Using external tools. How can we test any API? I mean, these things are kind of important ones only because any real-time API or in any of the project that you're going to use. So instead of directly going into voice and integrating, we'll first check it here from our system if the APIs itself are working fine or not, and then we'll integrate with the any other programs or any other tools. Right? Because if we directly go and integrate, if some error occurs and if it's not clear, uh, we will not sure where the error is, right? Either with our implementation or with the web service. So it's always better we first test all these things in our local system, right? So that's the one.
Okay, RS, I have a quick question. Like,
Yeah.
we need to test this REST endpoints first, right? In our local, like, is
Yeah.
it posting or we are getting the results or anything? So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, this endpoint will someone give to us from other teams, and they'll give the
Yes.
payload as well. Or,
Yes. Yes.
okay.
Yeah, they will give the sample payload. So
Oh,
today
okay.
I'll show you how Oracle has documented all those things.
Yeah, and
And based on that, you'll
when
know.
we are telling, right, like in real time, how it will work. If you tell those also, it will be useful.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
how do we get the data from which teams usually and from where?
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, I just put those things here so that we'll have a single reference. But see, whenever you hear these things in our course, we'll refer to the same thing. If we call PaaS, like our PaaS environment is OIC, and Oracle Fusion System is our SaaS. So, okay, all the things we'll see. So, yeah, just a quick recap. We discussed on the provisioning of instance and then introduction to web service. Like anything that's exposed on the internet, right? Any external application we want to access programmatically. We'll make use of the concept of API and get access to the data. Some other application is hosted on some other server, and from our system, like we'll try to invoke the server and get the response. And inside it, there are multiple technical concepts that we have learned, like headers, request body, or the request payload or the response payload, like authorization, and then different response status codes. Right, 200 means success, 400 client-side errors, 500 server-side errors, and then different authorization things like basic auth, API keys, and then parameters like query parameters, template parameters, all those things, right? And then we also tested some sample SOAP and REST APIs. So let's see how we can find, I mean, these are the public APIs, right? Uh, some online freeware tools. It's not specific to our application, our Fusion applications, but public APIs, which is free and easy to test. So we started with that. So today, what we'll do is let's test with standard REST APIs. Standard web services. Let me go. So when I call standard in all this Oracle Fusion, the standard is something that's already provided by Oracle along with its systems. So when I call standard APIs, some certain APIs are already developed and hosted by Oracle. We just make use of them. When I call standard reports, already reports pre-built by Oracle. Like that, all the things that is coming along with the product itself. This Fusion is a product, OIC is one product, right? All the things that's coming along in a standardized way, we call it standard web services. So, how can we access the web services that are related to our Fusion system? Because SaaS is our base system, right? How can we access the web service related to that? So again, as you already know, for any official Oracle documentation, docs.oracle.com, and then here it will be under this Fusion application suite. Right, so we can click on see all button. And here there will be different domains and different modules like we discussed, different functional areas like related to industries, related to sales, related to HCM, SCM, ERP, different things under Oracle Fusion Suite. So now we can test anything. Let's see the use case. We go there. Go to any module you want, you can go into that module, and you will inside that you will find something like this. So initially get started, like how can we get started with implementing financial module, right? When I say implementing, that means so you just bought the SaaS but you need to customize it for your own company, right? You need to have your own logo, you need to load your own data, and you need to have your business process set up in the SaaS system, right? For all the transactions that you're doing for your company. So that setting up and configuring everything, we call it like implementation. So, so yeah, here in the first page will be the get started, which details all the different things to understand this entire solution, what it is, and how can we subscribe, and the community discussions that's happening, and what's new. Here, the new features that are released and all will be present. And here, how can we use it? How can we implement it? How can we do administration for it? How can we configure it? How can we analyze and make reporting out of it? Right? All like these different things. And here, there is one thing called APIs and schema. Click on that. Now our goal is to get the standard services, right? So get into Oracle Help Center, which is docs.oracle.com, and went into the Fusion Suite and specific area. And here uh, I clicked on APIs and schema. In any module you take, there will be this APIs and schema. So there, uh, anything, let's say REST, maybe the REST API, SOAP API, different things that are available will be listed here. Now I'm going into REST APIs for Oracle Fusion Cloud Financials. So here, like this, there will be different things that are listed. Different REST API related to banks, bank accounts, related to cash pools, related to some ERP process, right? So some expenses. Like these are all different kinds of entities, right? If we say invoice, all the invoices related details will be present in one table, right? If we say receivables, all those things in a different table. If we say cash pools, those that will be different table, and we call it different entity, a different set of data. So let's open something, banks, and any entity you take, uh, basically on any data, we on any application we can do. I mean, these are the basic things that we can do, right? We can either create something, we can either get or read something, we can update something, we can delete something. It's a CRUD operations that we said. On anything, on any system, on any database, these are the four different operations that anyone can able to perform. Create, read, update, delete. So we have similar APIs as well for that. So this is how Oracle has published all the APIs for the SaaS. It's available online. So if we want to use these for integration purpose, so we'll just come here, go to the specific thing, whatever we want to use, and then get the details. So here, if you see this, I clicked on get a back, and there is this detail. So request method is get, and then this is the URL. Again, there will be our our instance specific URL slash followed by this one, because this is a standard one. And since we want to call our instance, we will prefix that with our instance details. So it will be something like our server URL slash all this one. URL will come up like this. And then here it will be very detailed with I mean very good documentation will be there here. Like what are the path parameters? Right? There is one path parameter, one parameter at the runtime, or basically the dynamic value being passed in the path or the URL. We can pass the party ID here. And as a query parameters, which is nothing but another way of passing the data that we discussed. At the query parameters, like there is something called only data or something called fields, something called dependency. All these things. I mean, if you click on anything, it will expand. Let's say if it is fields, right? Only whatever fields that we have given, those will get in the response. We don't we don't see the very big response and all. Let me show you. So again, if I scroll down the response, what is the response type? It's a JSON again. And how is the response format will be there? Like in the response will contain all these fields and information about each field. Bank name, bank number, like that. And there will be some arrays as well, right? Object inside of it. Let's say if it link, it's an array. Inside that link, we'll have all this structure. Like that. So that's an example. Link is an object. Inside the link, we'll have these different things. href kind name or yeah, that. So that's how uh, the complete request and response related details will be present for any API we want to implement. And then if we scroll down, there are these examples. Examples on how someone can send a request, how someone can, I mean, how the example response looks like in this specific JSON format. So again, in this example, you will see these curl commands. So this is nothing but your command line tool. So now you are tested using Postman, right? So if we don't have any tools, so just using our command prompts or terminals, we can easily test any kind of API, REST APIs. Right. So for that, there is this curl command that we can use. Right. So here, if you replace these things with your actual username and password, and then server name as well, if you replace your server name, and then if you go to your command prompt and enter this, so that will send a request from your terminal to the server, to the Fusion server, and display the response there itself. So that's how the sample, in the sample request, in all those things, you will see a curl command because they cannot keep screenshots of Postman and all, right? End of the day, Postman is an external tool. It's not owned by Oracle. But whereas curl is like, it's a common standard. Any system, any OS you take, this one can be there. So yeah, this is how we can send a request and a response will looks like this. So here there is only one response, but there will be multiple scenarios in some use cases. What happens if there is some error, what it will respond, right? Like that. So here, get a back. Let's say create. Uh, how the request looks like, how the response looks like. What are the different examples like? So you can jump to examination. If I go to examples. So in case of create, it's a post. We are creating a record in the bank entity. We are creating some data into the SaaS system. So when we are creating, we need to pass all the details about what we are creating. Right? So here it's a get. We are getting the data. We are reading the data. So we just hit the URL normally and we got the data. But when we are creating, we want to pass the data of what we want to create. Let's say we are creating a bank. we want to say like what country the bank resides, what is the bank name, what is the number, what is the description. All these things we want to send to the API, right? So how can we send? We can send the entire data via request body or the request payload. So this is how a example request payload looks like. And response body, this is how it looks like. So once we send with the basic details, it will create the record and it will share us some ID along with the other details. That's how this SaaS API works. Again, for creating also, what are all the different fields? If it's a request body, what are all the different fields? What all you can pass, all those things, the detailed description, maximum length. Similarly for updating as well, there will be. So for updating, you want to you want to update the specific record. Right? There are some hundreds of records. You can easily find whatever record you want to update based on the ID. You will enter that ID as a path parameter, and whatever data you want to update as a request body. Right? Whatever fields you want to update, you can simply enter those. If you go to example, see example request body. URL will looks like this, and then example request body will look like this. Right, so that's how.
RS, actually
yes.
having a doubt. Is it possible
Okay.
to update all the fields using REST API? Any restricted will be there?
All the
I mean,
fields in the sense you cannot update ID column. Yeah, apart from that, almost all the fields in the SaaS you should be able to update, except the
okay.
ID. Yeah. Yeah, again, there will be certain validations in the SaaS side as well. Once you hit the REST API, it will reach the SaaS servers to, like, there it will do for the validation first. Like if there are any columns that you should not update, it won't take it. It will return some error, right? It will do the validations that are required and then respond. And then it will, if it's all okay, it will do the update and respond. If not, it will
process.
respond with some error. Yeah.
We can check whether like if there are any specific columns, these are the columns we can update and we can see here, things like that.
Yes. So this is a request body, and once it's done, you can see the whole response of the full entity. Here, when you are updating, you are passing only two fields, two columns.
Yes.
But in the response, the entire row will come up.
Okay. I mean, you're saying these are the columns we can update.
See, these are all the columns that we can update.
Yes.
In this entity. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Nice question. So yeah, like this, I mean, this is a common place. We don't need to go and check with any other teams. It's nicely documented in the help center itself. Whatever we want to use, we can simply find the respective API and make use of that. So similarly, delete use case as well. Delete is the method, and you will pass the ID, whatever you want to delete. Here, when deleting, you don't want any request body. Just based on this path parameter, the entire deletion goes. You will send a request, something like this, and then it will respond with the response body. 204 response. So yeah, that's how all these APIs. Maybe I will test something. Okay, again, this there is one more thing, get all banks. So there is a difference between get a bank and get all banks. This is also common for different entities. Get one or get all. So if we see get one, like I said last time, right? So we just have the ID of a particular record, a particular row. Based on the ID, we want to see other details. We have bank ID. Based on that, we want to know bank name or bank description or some tax related information or country name. So like this, based on the ID, we want to get different information. Then we go for get one or get a bank. Basically, we can call it like get one record. So similarly, if you go for get all, the only difference is this entire thing will remain the same. Only the ID won't be present. Get all, right? All the thing is present except the ID. So what it does is it gets not just get one record, but in the SAS system there can be multiple banks, right? For in a bank table there can be multiple rows, multiple records. The entire data it will fetch. Right? If I go to sample response. Okay, inside these items we'll have that first bank. And then if I scroll down, okay, they have hidden that. Like this, there will be this will be repeated. The structure will be repeated inside this array, and there will be different data related to multiple banks. We'll test in the Postman, and there I'll show you the detailed response. Uh, yeah, that's the difference. Get one and get all. Get one to get the details about specific record. Get all to get multiple data in the source. Here also different query parameters. And no request payload is not required. There's no request body. When reading the data, right? We want to read from the system. So here, since we are getting all the details, we might want to filter out, right? Let's say, get me the details of a bank that's starting with the specific name, or get me the details of all the banks that are present in a particular country. How can you do that? Here, there will be something called queue, which is nothing like query parameter. So here, if you can use this kind of thing, here it's an example. Q is the key of the query parameter. And what value you are passing is you can filter by all these different columns. So you can filter based on the bank name. Right? So here you will get all the data. Out of all the data, you want to see details related to one bank based on the bank name. Right? So if we pass this and then Q is a key and value will be bank name equals to whatever value we want. Then details related to that bank only will be coming down. We have the name and we can see the other details. Similarly, we have a number and we can filter based on that, based on the description, based on the country name, right? All the banks that are present in a particular country, based on the registration name. Like this, there are multiple fields which it allows to easily query or filter or search the data. Right, and similarly other things like total results. So for a given search, how many records are present? What's the total number of row count? And order by nothing like sorting, right? Based on what field we want to get the response. Okay, this one I'll discuss. This is important only, but I'll discuss it. Only data. If you want only data or the links also. So there will be some links that will be present in the system like this. No, for a child items and all. Like we discussed, this in the fusion, entire data will be hierarchical, right? Some parent-child kind of relationships will be there. If we say bank is one thing, and it can have multiple child like bank accounts or something like that. Here we are seeing like some territories, some banks, right? And also any other custom-made childs like that. All those things related to the childs will be present in some section called as links. Right? So that if you want to get details about those things as well, then we can simply go here and go into this href and get the URL and invoke that and get the data related to that specific thing. That's on the links. So if we want that or only the data, we can maintain it. Similarly, again, this offset and limit, I will explain in a while. And then fields, right? What are the different fields that we want to see in the response? Here, when we do get all, we are getting all these fields, right? But let's say I'm not interested in all the things. I'm filtering based on something, and I only want some bank name and bank description. Then I can give those two values as a fields. Right? Attribute is nothing but those things like bank name is an attribute, bank description is an attribute. But if I give like this, only those things I'll get in the response. So it will be like that. So, okay, that's where you can access documentation. That's how you can see the different data related to the APIs. So now let's go and test these things. Right? Uh, just 1 minute while I open the applications. So this is REST, right? So I'm opening the Postman. Okay. So let's say we want to test this. Let's give this. Let's copy this URL, and here we have a get, and this is the URL, right? So I'm copying this URL and going into my tool where I can test this thing, and I'm pasting this. It's a get request, so I'm selecting get, which is a default one. And as we discussed before this, our server URL comes up, right? So this will be our instance. Then place that. So our fusion URL slash this one. Now if I hit this, I'm expecting an error saying unauthorized. Because this is not a public API, right? This is our fusion data. This is our SaaS data where our internal company related information might be there. So these won't be open. There will be authorization to this. There will be some security added. So you have this username and password with which you can access the data. Come here, go to basic call, and then under On the right side, we are having username and password. Simply copy and paste this. So previously, without the data, if I send a request, I get 401 unauthorized. 401 is the status. It means from our side, we are not passing something correctly. We are not passing the username and password correctly. So it's a client side error, unauthorized. Now I fixed that one. I am passing the correct thing that is required, username, password. So now send. See now if I hit a request, its status is 200. Means okay. It all went okay. And then in the response, I'm seeing all these things. So this is a JSON structure. It is the entire JSON structure. It has some 2000 lines, out of which these items will have the data. Items is one JSON array which will have the actual data. And then apart from that, we have all these things. What's the total number of count? Total number of banks that are available in this specific SaaS instance. Because we did not made any filters, right? So if we had any filters, it will show the count after the filter is applied. Right now, this is this one and has more. If you have any other records, like all the 73 were displayed here. If we have any more records apart from that, right, then it will show like that. And limit. What's the limit? Okay. Limit is like the number of records we'll get in the response. Right? Here there are 73 and the limit is 500. Right? So since limit is larger, all 73 records were present in my response. Right? So if I do a search with one entity, like there are 73 of them. Right? So inside the item, there are details related to 73 items. Like this is one bank. And then next time, this is one more bank. And this is one more bank. Like that, there are multiple. All 73 were there in the response. So here, if we just give 10, right? Only 10 will come in the response in my items. But in the count, it will show what are total number of count, like 73 will be there. Now let's do that. So this is the response, right? So if we want to limit, so we come here, we see the documentation. The query parameter name is limit. So we can simply under query parameters, we can add key as a limit and value is how many we want to limit. Right? So right now notice has more is false and count is 73, limit is 5. But if I limit, now if I minimize, see, oh, okay, has more is true. Limit is 10 only. Now if we see this, there are only 10 items in this response payload. Right? We call this like array wherever you are seeing this scare brace, that will be array in the JSON. Array is nothing but which holds data related to multiple objects. Right. This is one object. This array will hold data related to multiple objects like this. So here there are 10 records since we are passing something. So based on our input, we want our response. So in that case, we'll make use of the query parameters. So here we are limiting by 10. and has more. With the specified filter criterias, right now there is no filters, but apart from what was already written, the 10 records, do we have some more records in the system? We already know it has 73, right? But we only get 10. It was saying, yes, it has more data. If you want, you can fetch it again. So from this limit, right? Right now it was fetching first top 10 data, top 10 records. So consider from top to bottom 1 to 100 kind of lines, and there will be many records from top to bottom. So right now it is only fetching top 10 based on this limit. What if we want to fetch next 10? For that, there is a concept of offset, which is nothing but you can consider it like a page number, right? So, and then number of records per page, right? Just an example. So, let's say you have a book, and you know that in every page of a book there will be exactly 10 rows, data related to 10 banks. So, limit is nothing but that 10, right? Page will be like in order what page we want to get. Offset is also similar, like what is the offset number that we want to get. Again, there is slight difference to page and offset. Offset is nothing but the specific number we'll give. Like, okay, let's see this. So right now, okay, again, I'm not doing any default sorting, any sorting based on any column and all, no order by. I'm leaving it for default. So by default, it was sorting like this, right? First thing, as I said, it will fetch the top 10 records. So first one is, it was fetching this name, Abu Dhabi Bank. And then the second item, if you see this ABN something, right now offset is 0, right? Offset is 0. If I give some offset, let's say if I give offset as 1, or offset as 2, see first one is Abu Dhabi. And then if I minimize, the second is ABN. Then the third one is ACE1. Right? So if I pass it as 2, it should start from the second one. Right? So if I send it, see, first thing it was giving is ACE instead of that earlier 2. Right? So that's how these limit and offset work. So again, let me restrict push minutes we didn't discuss. Okay. So if there are multiple lines like this, right, consider there is one data for each row. So limit is like saying how many number of columns I want in the response. Let's say limit is 4, it will fetch the first 4 response by default. Offset is nothing but where to start, right? If we say 2, right, start from the second. Okay, consider it start from 0, 0, 1, 2. So start from this place and fetch the next 4, next limit. Offset and limit. We say offset is 1, limit is 3, right? Start from first and fetch the next 3 records. We'll get 2, 3, 4 in the response. Similarly, if we increase the offset, right? If we give offset as 4, start from 4 and fetch the next 3 records. Here, next 3, there are only 2, right? It will only show 2. So limit is a maximum number of things we want. So if we give offset as 0, it will fetch first 3 only, because maximum we can fetch 3 only. And then has more will be true. Like that. That's how this kind of filtering works in the get all APIs. Again, these will be common for any kind of entity, not just banks. You want to access any kind of thing, these things will be common. You can simply expand them and see. Get all. Right? There are all these fields, limit, offset, only data, queue. And here inside the queue, it will have attributes related to that entity with which you can filter the data. Right? Because this will have different set of columns, different set of fields. So the data related to that, like that. Will happen. So well, let's come back to banks. Get all banks. You can also see this queue, right? There are different banks, right, that we have got in the response. Again, links is nothing but like this. This bank. If you want to get details of one bank, one specific item, right, we can use this one. It's a cash bank item. It's a self. Apart from that, we'll have different other things as well, like some territory related to bank. So yeah, in this entity, this is the only child, let's see. But yeah, in other entities, there will be multiple childs like this. Whatever parent which has multiple childs, all the childs will be coming under these links. But we don't want these links and all. Then we can say this and record only data. Right? We can pass that as a query parameter and true. Right? I only want the data. I don't want the links. So based on this, I'm sending a request, and based on the parameters that I'm sending, it will prepare the response and send me. Let's see, I'm not having the links right now. So the response looks clean. But similarly, let's say the fields. Right? There is one more thing called fields. So I pass that as a key, and the value is like what attributes. I don't want all these things. Maybe I want this one, and then I want this one, and then this one. Maybe like this, I can, instead of getting all the things, I can mention the specific things, whatever I'm interested in, so that the payload size will reduce and it will be faster, right? Because it is only fetching few things. The time will be reduced and the size will be reduced. It will process faster. It will make the API call faster. So like this, we can play around different parameters of the get all REST APIs. So similarly, we also discussed about the queue, right? Which is nothing but so if you want to filter, let's say you want to filter based on the bank name or country name, let's say. You want different banks that are present in this company. Right? So since the country name is allowed, if I expand queue here, I have this country name also. Name of the country where the bank is located. So I can use queue and then country name equals to some value. So I said all the banks in a particular country is coming up. Right? Like Insurance Bank, JPMC, some West Bank, Sofa Bank, like multiple banks. So out of those banks also, I want to filter based on the name. Right? We can simply use a semicolon and give the second expression. Or end also works, but right now let's say simple semicolon. Bank name goes to Citibank. It will only fetch right. It will only fetch the data by applying both the filters. Let me try and bank name is allowed.
RS it is there semicolon now. Normal you can.
Yeah. Here they have given end, so I was using that, but the semicolon didn't work. So that go here. Okay, again, there will be something else so for these things. So if they say expressions, right? Uh, some things like numerical expression calculations, it will do, right? Like those kind of things will be there. If there is a single match, will do. Okay, don't worry, you will see this later. Yeah, but the main concept is to do the filtering like this. Okay, even with the simple Citibank, it's not giving the response. Yeah, the main concept is to do the filtering based on the different values. Right, this one. We hide this. Oh, offset is 2, right? Okay, if you see, that's why it was not giving. Because it was trying to get from the offset as 2. It was trying to go to the second offset and then get the next thing. But since we are trying to search based on the specific thing, it will be only one record. So if we're trying to get from the second record, it won't come. So now if we search, there is some record that has came. Let me filter, apply the fields also. Only few fields. Now if I apply, if you want both, if you want to apply both the fields, I can simply make it within United States. Some bank with the party number is this one. I think now even bank name as well. If you apply, like because of the offset, it didn't work earlier. Like this, we will be able to apply filters based on the different fields. We will be able to search out of all the different data. We will be able to search based on specific criteria that we want. That's what this queue is about. So yeah, those are the different things. I mean, you can also use the curl commands and see, like, and simply test it from our terminal as well. Let me copy this and then username, password. Let's prepare all this. Welcome back. 1, 2, 3. And here our server name. Replacing this with our server name. Right now, we prepared a command. We can copy and we can go to any command prompt and then enter this. Let's see. I don't need to install Postman and all. I entered something with all the authorization and the URL and all, and then it processed and gave me the response. So that's all. Gave 200 OK, and different headers it was displaying, and then the data, actual data. We can also pass this one as well. So if we clear this URL, so get request and then paste this one. Again, whatever we are sending as query parameters, right? As we discussed, those will go after this question mark. Right? First key value, and then second key value, then third key value. With the ampersand symbol, different key values will be differentiated, and all these things within the URL after question mark, whatever is coming, those are all the query parameters. If I simply copy this and then hit the request. Okay, again, when it is sending, this will do the URL encoding. So here, ampersand. Okay, don't worry. When it's actually sending the request, right, it will do some URL encoding so that some characters can come up fine. Now it looks like something was missing in the curly. So yeah, but that's how we can test any URLs. I mean, I'll talk about this one. What is a URL encoding and how can you handle those things? We'll see in the later. But for the REST APIs, right? So this is how we can test the different things that we discuss, like the fields, offset limit, offset limit, and mainly the queue, right? Using which you can query or filter or search different records and data. Limit is like maximum number of columns or rows the data. Offset is like so at what offset point to start fetching the data like this. Then fields like what all fields we want in response. Again, all these things are common for any kind of SaaS REST APIs and something called only data. Links. Right, like these things, the different things under the get all APIs. Different query parameters. So that's the thing, and we have also tested the curl commands, like how it works on the terminal. Any questions until here? It's about how to access Oracle Fusion Standard APIs and what are the different things in any of the API and examples and different operations, different CRUD operations and the URL framing and how to filter the data. So any questions in any of these topics?
Nice.
Okay. So yeah, that's on the rest. I'm concluding it about the standard rest. So let's move on to the second thing, which is the SOAP. Right? For SOAP, we can test ERP integration service. So again, this thing will be common, going to docs.oracle.com and then going to the specific area and all. So now let me go to the specific area. And this you already know, right? Okay, we start from the top. So help center, different applications, select application, and there will be APIs and schema where the REST APIs and SOAP APIs will be there. Now, if I go to SOAP services, there will be different SOAP web services that are present. So we can expand these and take any of the service. Different business of again at the top there will be some normal info, I mean some information about SOAP web services, like about SOAP web services in Fusion Cloud. Like what is the life cycle, how is it managed, and all these things. At all the basic information. And then what are some limitations and how to get started and all. So let's go to the actual web service. Okay, ERP integration service, right? So if I click on this, there is something that what of. So it provides external operations for some integration scenarios, like bulk data import and export to execute some inbound and outbound data flows. It also provides some features such as status tracking, web service callback, and all. Consider this is a SOAP request to used in some integration kind of scenarios. Right. So uh, let me scroll down. So for the SOAP, right, as we discussed, the first thing is the WSDL. So here is a URL about the WSDL. Server name will always replace with our instance specific server name. So this is the WSDL using which we can get all the data. And inside that, there are multiple operations. There will be multiple operations, right, in any SOAP request. Like get ESS job, upload file, submit job with output, load and import data. I mean, these are all the different kinds of integration scenarios. We'll discuss all these things. I mean, majority of these we'll do in all different ways possible. Right? But any operation you take, what does it do? We say get ESS job status. If we say this operation, when we invoke this, we want to invoke with some request ID as a request payload. If we invoke this, it will get the status of that job. It obtains the request status of the submitted ESS job. Similarly, to submit some job, we want to pass the different things as a request payload, and we'll get some response. So now let me go and test this one. So here, let me copy this list and replace that with our server name. In place of server name, we have to give our instance of HTTP is also there. So let me copy this listing and go to the SOAP UI. Click on new SOAP request. Give some name, any name, and the WSDL, whatever link that we got. So again, there will be different WSDL URL for different SOAP entities. For this one, we are using this. Similarly, if we want to credit card related information, the WSDL will be related to that one. Right? Like that, based on different entities, here also different WSDL URLs will be getting. So we enter something and then click on OK. It will load the entire definition. Different operations, different services that it has. Right, so it has two services. And if I expand something, like all the different things like getting job status, submitting a job, and this one is a direct HTTP, but is asynchronous. So all the different things that were present here, all the different operations. Get is a job status, submit job with output, upload file to USIM. All those things will be coming under different operations. Get ESS job status, get document by data, append files, export bulk data. Like all these things you will find each and everything here. Like what is what and all. Only thing is here it is sorted based on the alphabetical order. So if we open anything, get ESS job status, right? So get ESS job status. See this one. If I have expand and open any request, see it was taking request ID. Here they are given that request ID, some value. So ID of the submitted job. Similarly, if we want to submit ESS job request, so submit ESS job request. Right here, different details about package name, definition, parameter list. Those three fields. Like this, we'll be able to filter out. Again, we want to execute any SOAP request. We can do like this. Let me do this. Okay, before that, if I execute normally, right? Maybe even if I give some random name and all, so as I expect, unauthorized because I'm not passing any details. Wait just 1 minute, I'll charge it. Okay, let's continue. So, yeah, so we have to pass some authorization, right? So let's go to auth and then add new authorization, basic auth, and then enter the credentials. username and password. Now submit. Right, so we have resolved our client side error. So we are passing the right username and password. Now it's a server side error. 500 internal server error. Right? So if I go to XML, an error occurred, contact help desk. It was simply saying that, okay, it wants some request ID, right? For now, I'll just log in and get some request ID, and I'll explain all these different details in the SaaS like navigation and all later. So, but just on a basic level. So this is to get the details about enterprise scheduling service. How can we access these jobs is under this tools section, wherever I have just gone. The tools, there will be something called schedule process. I can get any of the ID from here. I can copy any ID like this. Now I want to get the status related to this. See, I know the status for this is success. So I enter the request ID and I execute the request. I get 200 OK. And in the response, under the result, see, I'm saying it succeeded. So that's how this one works. Similarly, if I pass something else, 9045, right? 045. It will get the data related to that specific thing. Wait, states. So yeah, this is how any SOAP web service can be tested. Go into the documentation and under APIs and schema, go into the REST for the specific module to go to access the REST related information. Go into the SOAP for the module to access SOAP web service related information. Right. For the SOAP, we go to the specific operation and copy the URL and frame the URL such as server name followed by this URL. Right? Server name followed by the URL. And enter the authorization and send the request and get the data, get the response. Similarly, in SOAP also, like copy the WSDL, go to the SOAP UI, enter the WSDL and import the project. And once you had the project, expand any operation and open any request, enter the data that you want to send as part of your request. Basically, the request payload. Once we prepare it, execute. I mean, after adding the authorization, once we prepare the request payload, send the request so that it will go to the server and get the respective response. Right. So that's how we can simply make use of these things. So yeah, guys, I also discussed different things.
Yes, I'm it out. Like how we can know this? We can pass the specific ID here. You have passed now.
Yeah, here I went into the actual system and got the ID that I want to get the status one.
How we can go here? You have went to Oracle Vision.
So yeah, this is Oracle Fusion actually. So yeah, I'll explain this one later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll come to this one later. Like when I'm talking about this one, I'll explain in detail. Like, there are different options in the SaaS. This is the SaaS system.
Like it is running any program and we are getting this process ID.
Yes, exactly. It's running some job that is nothing but a process. So this operation is to get the data about the job. But we need to discuss this in detail. There are multiple things to it. We'll spend enough time. Again, this is for that one. But similarly, if you take any other thing, uh, here if we say journal, that is some entity, actual entity, using which you can do all these different things. Let's say you want to import first. Okay, before importing journal, we want to import it interface. So that's a different thing. See here also, let's say payables invoice is some entity, just like you consider it maybe like your banks. Right there you can do create, you can do get like that, right? So here similarly, you want to get some interface details about something, you can go here and use this operation. And if you pass invoice ID and some request ID, you will get the result of the line related information. Right, like that. I mean, this one, if you want to do the specific thing, we'll go to that one. ERP integration service is a kind of common one. Again, this is important in terms of integration scenarios. Yeah, there are some additional things to it as well, which we'll discuss. But for a topic of standard rest and soap, right? So this is how it looks. Let me keep this thing. And here I and then if I mean, but the rest, if I give this, you will know, right? And we also use different query parameters and all. If you go to your Postman and simply type this one, all those things will come up automatically, like all the different things, because in the URL those were there, right? All the different things that we have tried out. Similarly, so I'm keeping this stop. And yeah, this is the whistle and a sample request body. But once we execute, we'll get the response. Similarly, forget. So yeah, any question, guys? I mean, I know there is something more to learn about integration service and all those process IDs and all. Yeah, but apart from that, any other doubts or any other questions? Alim, Dattu, Nitin, Vikash.
No, sir.
Let's do this. So yeah, now you can access the Oracle documentation and test both the things. I think maybe for today this one should be enough. And if you want any other thing, maybe what I will give an additional is find out best service for suppliers. That all suppliers. Just a hint, it will be under procurement. I mean, this is what we are going to use next. So I want to. You can do your exercise and you can go to help center and find out that one. Right. This is what we have already done today. Bank API and ERP integration service, and this is what you can do newly. You can go to help center and find out and get that. So yeah, once you have done something, you can create a document. I mean, you can create a new folder like this and add a document inside that with your name and add your screenshots and all there. And then you can mark this as done. Okay, here I have done it, but you can upload the screenshots.
RS, how we can take this SOAP web API? So we have to get process ID, right?
Yeah. For now, you can use the same process ID. I have pasted the request ID here. So
Okay.
you can use this and test this.
It is generated when
Okay.
we run the
But
CSS
just in
job.
case, yes, exactly.
Okay.
So in case you want to go here and search for different process ID, guys. So you have the SaaS URL, the public, I mean, not public, our private SaaS URL. So just log into this using the credentials. And then once you log in, you have tools. Under that, I mean, there are if I just clicked on this navigation icon and there are different things, out of which I click on the tools section. I expand it so that I get the different tools. Here I click on schedule process. Here I will have access to different jobs. You can expand the time and then it will automatically fetch the records. So you can copy process ID related to anything. So this is how you can get the process ID, just in case. Process. Log into source. New icon. Tools. Schedule process. Fine. So I'm just putting the steps like this. So log into SaaS, click on the menu, go into tools, schedule process, and you will have all these things. Copy any process ID. So yeah, like this you can get the ID.
Oh,
All right, so yeah, if no questions, we can meet tomorrow, guys. It's a simple task even today for you. Like you can download the tools and navigate and test that. Please hit some time because this where when we are learning, right? So only if you do the, I mean, this is not a theoretical thing. It's all practical things that we learn. Only if you do the hands-on, you will remember more. Uh, yeah, please spend some time daily for doing the assignments.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Vikash, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Nitin?
No RS.
Okay. Did you join today only?
No. Like I have
Okay.
joined from the first day only, but today I joined late a bit.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll
RS,
meet tomorrow.
RS,
Yeah.
one personal doubt.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I have on the day one I have Azure or something, right? It is working. Like, but when I use I'm sorry, file-based trigger for this bank server, it is running for every 10 minutes. Like I have didn't keep any schedule, but I'm calling using it through the SFTP trigger, and I'm calling my
Okay.
integration.
Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Others guys, if you want, you can drop off. So this is Dattu has specific requirement which is working. So we'll discuss on that and close the call. You can feel free to drop. I mean, since the time is more. Okay, yeah, Dattu, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, it is running good RS actually, as you said, but it is running for every 10 minutes. That is like it is triggering for every 10 minutes actually. I have kept polling for every 60 seconds, but it is triggering for every 10 minutes. Like, do I
Maybe
need to in schedule? I
no,
have to.
maybe the BIP job, right? That might have scheduled for every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes, it's placing a file because,
No,
as you
no,
know, it's
no.
from the file, right?
Yes. I was actually by using busting, I was throwing the file into the server. So when file got placed into the server, like it is triggering for every 10 minutes, not for every. I have a polling for every 60 seconds actually. So after some time, after 10 minutes, like it is like in schedule I have kept nothing, but it is triggering for 10 minutes. I will place a file in this bank server actually. Maybe in schedule, I have to check up. Hello. Hello,
Oh,
Aris, I'm
sorry, I
audible.
was speaking on mute.
Okay.
Sorry, sir. Yeah. You can check out the schedule. So what you're saying is you had a polling for 60, but the integration is getting triggered after 10 minutes,
Triggered
right?
for 10 after 10 minutes actually. For every 10 minutes, it is
Yes,
triggering.
yes. So based on the polling frequency, it will check the folder,
It
but the
has to check.
integration won't be triggered. Yeah, integration will be triggered only when it detected a new file.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I can check on that schedule part from the BI side. So
BI side, I was actually placing the file, Aris actually from front end, like using Fusion hosting. I have placing the file. It is not scheduling for every 10 minutes because I was pausing some parameters. So depending upon the parameters, it is like throwing the file into the server.
uh
Okay, I'll check.
maybe you are running that for 10 minutes or something. Yeah. Uh, yeah, but the idea is this polling is for that. So only if it detected new files or changes in the existing folder, only then that will trigger. Uh, you won't find a new integration trigger based on the polling frequency, but based on the
No, I
files that it detected. Yeah, but one thing is again this file I mean, the polling based on a file is a existing one and standardized. The polling based on FTP is kind of a new thing that they have released. I mean, I have not used this
Uh-huh.
widely. I'm not sure
Yes.
what bugs it has.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, we had to
Okay.
try that one.
Uh,
So,
One more thing is like yeah,
yeah.
in icon frequency, while I'm using this for every 1 minute, like interval for every 1 minute, like it is not
Okay.
scheduling for every 1 minute. I call expression.
Oh, okay. Maybe, I mean, it could be some difference in the expression. You can simply go for the
It
normal basic one, right?
basic one for every 10 minutes. Sir. We can't schedule it for every 1 minute.
We have, yeah, okay. Then there could be the minimum thing that they might, okay,
Mm.
from the OIC side. Yeah.
Yeah, RS. Okay. Okay, RS.
Mhm.
RS, you're from Bangalore.
No, no. Right now, I'm in Andhra. I'm in my hometown.
You're Telugu, right?
Uh,
You're Telugu? Are you Telugu?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
తెలీదా?
Okay, RS. అవునా. ఎక్కడ?
ఓకే. మా చీరాలని విజయవాడ దగ్గర.
చీరాల. ఓకే. ఫైన్ RS.
మీరు?
థ్యాంక్ యూ. నేను ఇక్కడ నల్గొండ, తెలంగాణ. మా ఫ్రెండ్స్ చాలా మంది
హైదరాబాద్.
ఉన్నారు ఫ్రమ్ విజయవాడ నుంచి.
ఆహా, ఓకే. సో ప్రెసెంట్ హైదరాబాద్, బెంగళూరు?
హైదరాబాద్ లో చేస్తున్నాను RS. యాక్చువల్లీ ఐ వాజ్
హైదరాబాద్.
వర్కింగ్ ఇన్ TCS. అంటే లైక్ మరి ఇంతకు ముందు
నైస్.
R12 ఉండే క్లౌడ్, R12 లో ఉంటుండే ఆన్ ప్రిమిస్.
అవును,
దెన్ క్లౌడ్
అవును.
కి షిఫ్ట్ అయ్యారు రీసెంట్ గానే. బట్ ఎవరు లేరు ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్, లైక్ ఎవరు చెప్పేవాళ్ళు లేరు. మేమే లైక్ ఎక్స్ప్లోర్ అవుతూ అలా చేస్తున్నాం అన్నమాట. ఇంకా ఎక్స్ప్లోర్ అయిన వాళ్ళు ఎమ్మటే షిఫ్ట్ అయిపోతున్నారు ఇంకా. లైక్ దే ఆర్ గెట్టింగ్ అంటే
అవుట్
ఇప్పుడు
సైడ్.
కొంచెం డిమాండ్ లో ఉంది కదా ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ క్లౌడ్ మేబీ.
అవును,
నాకు
అవునవును.
నేను రీసెంట్ గానే నన్ను దీంట్లో క్లౌడ్ లో వేసాను. లైక్ వాజ్ ఎక్స్ప్లోర్, నేను కూడా షిఫ్ట్ అవుదాం అనేసి మళ్ళీ దీంట్లో జాయిన్ అయ్యాను అనమాట.
బెస్ట్.
అందరూ వెళ్ళిపోతున్నారు ఇంకా. ఇంకా వెళ్ళిపోతున్నారు, కొత్త వాళ్ళు తీసుకుంటున్నారు, మళ్ళీ వాళ్ళు నేర్చుకుంటున్నారు.
యా, ఇట్స్ ఈజీ టు లెర్న్ అండ్ యా, దట్ టు ఇట్స్ ట్రెండింగ్ కదా బయట. మంచి ప్యాకేజెస్ వస్తున్నాయి, సో ఎవరు అవుతారు అందులో
అదే
మీకు?
నాకు 3 years ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్, శాలరీ తెలుసుగా TCS లో అంత ఉండదు.
యా, 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 యా,
సో
ఐ నో. ఐ హ్యాడ్ దేర్ ఐ వర్క్ దేర్ ఎర్లియర్. సో అది మెయిన్ ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఇవి టైప్ చేశారు కదా డైలీ రావాలని, ఐ మీన్ 5 days ఇవి.
అవును యాక్చువల్లీ అదొకటి ఉంది.
యా, యా.
ఏం చేయలేము. ఈ రోజు మీకు
యా,
హాలిడేనేనా?
దట్స్ ఓకే. ఓ నో, నో, టుడే ఇట్స్
ఓకే,
వర్కింగ్.
మీకు ఫారెన్ బేస్డ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్. యాక్చువల్లీ వర్క్ ఫర్ TTD,
యా.
తిరుమల తిరుపతి దేవస్థానం.
ఓ, నైస్, నైస్.
అంటే నాట్ ఓన్లీ TTD, ఆల్ ఓవర్ టెంపుల్స్.
ఓకే.
ఆల్ ఓవర్ ఇండియా టెంపుల్స్ లో వర్క్ చేస్తాం. మెయిన్ టెంపుల్స్ ఉంటాయి
ఓకే.
కదా, వైష్ణవదేవి, గురువాయూర్ వర్క్ చేస్తాం.
ఓకే, నైస్, నైస్. అంటే ఏం
ఇది
చేస్తారు టెంపుల్స్ కి?
టెంపుల్స్ కి లైక్ వాళ్ళు ఇప్పుడు నార్మల్ గా ఫ్రంట్ ఎండ్ టీమ్ కొంతమంది ఉంటారు ఆన్ ఇయర్ కి, లైక్ వాళ్ళ లడ్డు కౌంటర్స్ కానీ, రూమ్స్ కానీ, టికెట్స్ కానీ ఇవన్నీ షెడ్యూల్ చేశారు. లైక్ మేము వచ్చేసి లైక్ వాళ్ళ అసెట్స్ కానీ, వాళ్ళ పేమెంట్ సిస్టమ్స్ కానీ, జనరల్ లెడ్జర్ నార్మల్ గా ఉంటాయి కదా, సో ఇవన్నీ మేము మెయింటైన్ చేస్తాము.
ఓకే.
ఇంకా నార్మల్ ఇంకా ఇప్పుడు జమ్మూ కాశ్మీర్ లో చూసుకుంటే నార్మల్ గా ఇంకా అక్కడ రీసెంట్ గా ఇది హెలికాప్టర్ సర్వీస్ కానీ, ఇది అకామిడేషన్స్ కానీ, లైక్ అయోధ్యలో కూడా రీసెంట్ గా స్టార్ట్ చేశారు కదా, అయోధ్య కూడా మేమే మెయింటైన్ చేస్తున్నాం. సేమ్ థింగ్ దేర్,
ఓ,
అకామిడేషన్స్,
నైస్, నైస్.
సర్వీసెస్, టికెట్ బుకింగ్స్ అవన్నీ ఉంటాయి కదా.
ఓకే. మ్మ్. అంటే అంతా ఈబీఎస్ ఆన్ ప్రెమిస్ లో చేస్తున్నారా?
ఇంతకుముందు ఆన్ ప్రిమిస్ ఉంటుండే, రీసెంట్ గా క్లౌడ్ కి షిఫ్ట్ అయ్యాము.
ఓకే ఓకే, నైస్ నైస్.
R12 నుంచి
ఓకే.
క్లౌడ్ షిఫ్ట్ అయ్యాము.
ఓకే.
ఇది అంటే
యా
కొంచెం లైక్ ఫ్రమ్ అంటే ఈ ఈ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ నుంచి మంచి ప్లేస్మెంట్స్ ఉంటాయంటారా?
యా 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 ఉంటాయి. ఐ మీన్ వన్స్ కోర్స్ కంప్లీట్ అయినాక యూ విల్ గెట్ పోస్టింగ్స్ ఇన్ ద
We have
వాట్సాప్ ఛానల్. లైక్ యా, ఐ మీన్ దే విల్ షేర్ ద లింక్స్ సో యూ
అంటే
కెన్
వీళ్ళకి
అప్లై.
పర్సనల్ గా లైక్ అంటే
వీళ్ళకి పర్సనల్ గా అంటే ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ కి కంపెనీస్ కి రిలేషన్స్ అనమాట. సో బయట కంపెనీస్ ఓపెనింగ్స్ ఉంటే వీళ్ళు పోస్ట్ చేస్తారు.
అదే ఆర్ఎస్. ఓకే
యా
ఆర్ఎస్,
బట్
ఫైన్,
బెటర్,
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఐ మీన్ వన్స్
నేను
బెస్ట్ థింగ్, యా కోర్స్ ఆఫ్ వచ్చేటప్పటికి యూ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ స్టార్ట్ అప్లైయింగ్ అవుట్ సైడ్.
నేను అదే
నేను
అనుకుంటున్నాను.
అవుట్ లింక్డ్ఇన్, యా దట్ ఈస్ బెస్ట్.
ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఉంటారు
యా
కదా, అలా అలా ఇలా అనుకుంటున్నాను. మీరు ప్రెసెంట్
యా
దేంట్లో
యా
వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు ఆర్ఎస్?
యా ఆన్ multiple Oracle technologies like not just OIC, not just Fusion. There are multiple things like VBCS, ODA, actually on Oracle domain, different
బీబీసీఎస్
products.
కూడా చాలా మంచి టెక్నాలజీ.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good product and has good demand.
చాలా ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్.
Yeah.
కంపెనీ
Company, I cannot say no.
ఓకే ఓకే, దట్స్ ఫైన్. జస్ట్ జనరల్లీ ఆస్కింగ్.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. It's casual.
ఇట్స్
All right.
క్యాజువల్.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
అదే లైక్
Okay.
ఇంతకుముందు. ఓకే,
Yeah,
థ్యాంక్ యూ
we
థ్యాంక్ యూ
will talk
హరీష్.
tomorrow. That I got time for next thing.
ఎస్ ఎస్ ఎస్, థ్యాంక్ యూ
Okay.
హరీష్, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
బాయ్ హరీష్.